Hi, this is Tzivia again with Inner Being Healing Arts, and I'm with Karen Carnabucci, and she is a psychodramatist. She's a trainer, and she and I are going to chat about being a clinician.
Yes, and what I think we should also chat about is being a creative clinician,
Yes.
because when we think of therapy, typically we think of traditional talk therapy, and we think of I talk, you talk, I talk, you talk, right?
Yeah. So many times when I'm with clients and they are doing that, they're talking about something. Well, she said this, and this was the thing that happened, and it's so much in their head. And I'm trying to track, going back and forth. So who said what? Wait, where did we go? And probably you've experienced that people will go back 5 years and talk about that as if it's happening now. And it gets a little confusing. And I enjoy interjecting present, the sense of being here now and what are you feeling right this moment. It is similar, I suppose, to some somatic work of what are you feeling in your body, where are you feeling it, but really it's more what can we do with that feeling. How can we or that thought, how can we embody it, how can we bring it to life in and of itself, which is, as you're saying, more of a creative sense. There may be other therapists like me who enjoy being interactive in their work.
Yeah, when we talked earlier, you used the phrase clinicians like me.
Yeah.
So tell me about clinicians like you and how you found psychodrama and how it ignited the person you are and the way you approach life.
Mm. Well, you know, psychodrama, well, okay, so there are clinicians that are, wait, let's stop. Okay, so that I can get my thoughts. Okay. There are clinicians who are very analytical. And actually, when I started my social work practice, I was pretty analytical. And, still look at mother and father, but have more of a theoretical point of view and want to figure out that theory and how it relates to the clientele. With psychodrama, there's a rich theory, a role theory of how people developed, how they interact with each other, the connections of people and sociometry. But I don't really think about those. Of course, over like 1,000 or 1,500 hours of psychodrama after being a social worker, clinical social worker, I don't even think of those things anymore. I'm more in the present moment with somebody, and other therapists like myself that might be just in the present moment. Let's move this along. Let's move this along. That's my personality, and I think that there are different people who gravitate towards different modalities because it fits their personality. And the creative fantasy world, the capacity of going in the past or the future or being present, the flexibility and spontaneity of psychodrama fulfills my spiritual self. So if there are other clinicians like me, they would love this. They'd love this work. How about you? How does that work for you?
Well, when I was a younger person, I occasionally thought about being a helping professional, but I always thought that I wasn't smart enough
Mm.
because my picture was Dr. Freud
Yeah.
sitting in a chair behind the couch, looking very serious, taking some notes, stroking his beard.
Mhm.
And I thought that model was not very interesting to me. it seemed like you had to be really smart in a particular intellectual way. And there wasn't much room to be me.
Mm. I agree.
Yeah. And when I discovered psychodrama years ago, back in 1985, actually, I saw therapists wearing jeans, sitting on the floor, walking around the room, using chairs and
Bars.
pillows, right?
Yeah.
And it was, and doing role play. And I was, what is this? What is this? This is not like anything I've ever seen before.
It's I've heard it said that psychodrama is like play therapy for adults.
I like that very much. Yes.
Yeah, it's a chance to let all those other parts out and be mean if you want to be mean, if that part needs to say something, or be shy and needy, or be clever, or even take on someone else's role and learn about being in someone else's shoes. This is the beauty of that role reversal that we have, being able
Yes.
to be in someone else's shoes.
Yes. And the beauty of it for me is that I, as a therapist, can be creative.
Yeah.
I can use my creativity every single day, every single hour, every single session. So every session looks and feels different.
Yeah,
And that makes it fun.
makes it a lot of fun and
Maybe
interesting.
not always fun, but mostly, but a lot of fun. Yeah.
Even through the tears. The tears are sacred, and
Yes.
there's, no embarrassment really. There's the sound that as that as a clinician, we have the freedom to make the same sounds as our clients, to cry with them, not by crying, but to cry along, to feel the breath, to be in the shape that they're in as we are empathetic as well as doubling. Yeah. I was gonna say oh yeah, with downloads. So with creativity, sometimes people don't understand what that means, with creativity. And at this point, I'm sure that you're similar. My crown, not that you would say it like this, but my crown, right, opens up, my little, like, I get downloads, right? Like someone's talking, I'm like, oh yeah, we could do this with that. And how would you like to try that? Moving them along. So it isn't like something oh, you should do this when you see that. It comes through us. And that to me, that's like a sacred spiritual connection, energetically, and um, on a soul to soul capacity.
Yes. I call it being in the process of life.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. And it's also really cool is that with this model, with psychodrama, there are also those clinicians who are more intellectually oriented. Like I was saying at the beginning of my career, that Freud was mine too, and self-psychology and stuff. So it was it was more analytical. And I think when in teaching, we're teaching the theories, but also the understanding of the needs of that particular symptom. So if someone has an eating disorder or an addiction of some sort, that's a symptom of something deeper, but they can relate to certain languages or certain language, knowing them, or like with trauma, when you understand that trauma takes away people's freedoms, and how they can gain freedom sort of through the back door, through creative outlets, by choosing someone, by standing up, by deciding to say no, by enacting things or whatever.
Yes. I really like that we encourage people to be creative from in a very simple way to maybe more complex ways. And once we start experiencing ourselves as being creative, we start experiencing ourselves as powerful.
Yeah. Right. Right. And I like in psychodrama, accepting someone's truth. It may be distorted, but it is their truth, and letting that truth be real. And then offering role training to see there might be a different truth, or there might be a different way of seeing this, and how that feels, because we can get so stuck in our own truth.
That's
Oh.
right. That's right. And that mirror position allows us to step out of the drama, looking at what we have perceived as our truth, and look at it from an observer role, and then really question, is that how I look? Is that how I act? Which can be really, really, really valuable.
Oh yeah, I'm laughing because I have a way of looking at myself, but then when I see myself in pictures, I see the photograph, I'm like, what is that how I really look? Yeah, so the mirror image is very strong and helpful in reality checks.
Well, good. Thanks for talking with me today.
You're so welcome. I love talking with you, and thanks for sharing your knowledge. So we'll see you again. Oh, did you know? Oh, Karen, what about the conference that's coming up? There's a fantastic conference. Oh, what I was going to say is, even though there's psychodrama like this, there are different people who do it, and so it comes out a little bit differently, like Tian Dayton.
Yes. And actually, Tzivia, that is where we met years ago at a conference, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we? We
Yeah,
sat next to each other in someone's workshop.
Yep.
And there is a conference coming up. It is still time to get registered. It's March 27th to, March 29th to April 2nd, 2003 at Fordham University in the Bronx. And you could read more about it in the information right under this video.
Yay. Yeah. And you can go to asgpp.org, but it will be down here too. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And we'll see you again.
I will see you again.